Man, so do you get up? You get up early in the morning, man? Are you a morning person or?
Oh hell no, no. Now I get up around 7 ish. I wake my daughter up. Normal dad shit. The kids come first. So yeah.
Right, right. No, that's that man. The same thing. I do the same thing. I get up, saying get focused, prayed up, and then it's
Hmm.
time to get it.
Yep. So you got me only about an hour before I usually get up. So you good.
So what's your normal time you up?
I have alarm set for like 7. Usually I get up around 6 ish, like 6:30 ish. But then I have alarm set for 7. And my daughter, she's hard headed, so she don't get up to like 7:45.
Creative tunes, what's up?
You know,
Yeah,
it
no, no,
really is.
I know. I gotta wake I gotta shake my daughter up like, hey, it's time to go. It's school time. It's school time. It's school. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Quabi, what's up with it, brother? Yeah, man. I'm gonna let more people get in so I can introduce who you are and who you are to me. T Mac, what up?
Well, it's
Anthony
all good.
B, J Steve, what's up with it? Born, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, man? I got a special guest in the house, man, that y'all really need to know. Two Papa, Funny Farm, Dr. Indy, Asiatic, what's up? AF Major Beats, salute, salute. What's good? Yeah, they coming in, man. I want them to know who my bro is. You know what I mean?
It's all
They need
good.
to
Yep.
know. They need to know. They need to know. Yeah, man. I get up, bro. Man, I gotta shake her up like, hey, it's school time. Let's get focused. Let's get
Exactly.
focused. You know.
That's
You know,
that's
I'm a firm believer, man, that being a parent, man, you really gotta tap in. You really gotta know, how to inspire your kids to be great, and it really starts with the parents. A lot of
Yep.
people blame, everybody else, but it really starts with us because we are where they listen first. So
Yep.
you got to put that out every day. You got to be putting that out every single day. And I love what you're doing, man, because you're a God fearing man just like myself. You prayed
Yep.
up, and you really kind of stick to those same to the same script as I stick to. You
Yeah,
know.
you got to keep it. Yeah, you got to keep it simple. And then I always say too, like, my first job is being a dad. Like that's my first job, and then my second is doing the music. So I always try to set a good example. I got 2 daughters in college, so
Yeah.
that's a
Oh,
that's
that's yeah, man. That's
yeah,
dope, bro.
yeah.
Wow.
My
Kenna, what's
oldest is
up?
my oldest is about to graduate Berkeley, so this year.
What? UC Berkeley?
Yep.
Wow. Hey, that's serious.
Yeah. So I take education really seriously because I had
That's
this thing right here. That's my degree
that's
from UC. That's from UC Davis. So
that's serious, bro. Well, that's the reason why your mind is so great. Because
so
you really have a self-discipline that's hard to teach people.
discipline.
Self-discipline is one of the most, I think that's the thing that I try to tell, my fans is that, a lot of people won't be as great because of the lack of self-discipline. You can't just get comfortable and just do whatever you want to do. It really takes you really being dedicated, studying it and studying it to the fullest degree
Yep.
so you can get the best out of what you can be. And now you become a commodity.
Yep.
You become that commodity to whatever it is, whether you're a barber, whether you're a mechanic, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a lawyer. I mean, your moral values depends on what you do with it because some people they get a good trade and then they get corrupt.
Yep.
There's some people that take they're a good commodity, but they go in a corrupt direction. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And then you got some that's really got moral values and integrity, and they stick to doing what they're supposed to do. You know,
Exactly. Yep.
you
You
know.
hit you hit the nail on the head too. It's discipline. Like I have a regimen that I hardly ever switch up. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
and that's part of being a father too. It's also the consistency part too. Like I keep things regular. You switch up when you have to, but you don't switch up on your morals and values though. But discipline is like a big part of like what I do. Like I have a musical discipline. Like I make sure I do the same things all the time, but at the same time, I'm learning and adapting because I think I'll probably be a dope ass producer in my 50s though. Like you
for
know what I mean?
sure. I mean,
Because
you dope. You dope now, so there's no way you ain't gonna be dope. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Just call
exactly.
me. I see you. Salute, salute, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for a little bit more to come in here, man, so I can really introduce who you are because I know people are like, man, okay, man, who's this guy Ski got on here? You know what I mean? Or y'all
Most
gonna know. Y'all gonna know real soon. You
it's
know what I'm
all
saying? But yeah, man, I just think that, everything in life, whatever we doing in life, definitely it's definitely all about self-discipline if you want the best out of it, you
Yeah.
know.
I was just, you know what, I was telling my wife about your back. So I don't know all your background in martial arts or whatever, or what exactly you do, but I've seen it and I've noticed because we have the same, you know, discipline and mind frame. So what is that exactly? Like with the martial arts?
So when I was 7, like I said again, coming up in the era where, it was nothing but martial art movies in the 70s.
Uh huh.
Being a kid, man, I was inspired. It started off with several people. Ron Van Cleef was a martial artist in movies on Black Dragon. Then it
Hmm.
went into Jim Kelly, the Black
Hmm.
Samurai.
Yeah.
And then my uncle, rest in peace, you know what I'm saying? He kept telling me about this dude that was the baddest man ever. And I'm like, come on, man, ain't nobody badder than Jim Kelly, bro.
Hmm.
To me, I was like, nah. And he kept talking about this Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee. My uncle was the one that put me up on Bruce Lee. And
Wow.
man, when I seen Bruce Lee Chinese Connection, I said, oh man, it spun my whole world around because just the techniques and the moves and the precision of what he was doing. And then I seen the
Mhm.
greatest movie of all time, Enter the Dragon. And that
Yeah.
was it.
Yep.
Enter the Dragon was just like my Run DMC when I was introduced to Sucker MCs and Rock Box.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
was the equivalent of my martial arts at 7 years old. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
wound up getting into martial arts, and when I got into the martial arts, just like everybody that want to get into music, everybody think it's easy to do martial arts. You just kick and punch. You see the movie, so you think you can do it.
Yeah.
We all think we can fight until you get hit in the mouth and see you really can't fight. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So as I'm going through my phase of just kicking and punching and doing my thing, I really get into the art. And shout out to my instructor, Sifu Bill Owens. They're going through a lot of stuff right now with the building. They trying to take the building from them. So, y'all send a prayer out to my instructor. They've been fighting. They've been there 50 years, a pillar in the community of Oakland, California. And
Wow.
we're working hard to try to keep everything, staying in place. You know how
Hmm.
the system is. They come and
Yep.
they try to push you out and try to kick you out. You've been, 50 years of helping these young, these youths and myself,
Yep.
coming from East Oakland. So to get back, because I can make this drawn out, but just to get to the point is that I got into arts and I really realized that it wasn't about fighting. It
Hmm.
wasn't about being a badass or going around and showing that you can get into stuff. It was actually the opposite. It was about teaching you how to diffuse situations. It was teaching you how to, just be respectable, be a respectable person, and learn how to but it also taught you how to defend yourself if you have to defend yourself,
Yeah.
but not be the motivator to spark it, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So I learned so much stuff from the art,
Yeah.
and I learned
Yeah.
so much, and from the training and the hours and the years of training. I mean, I trained from 7 on to I got my black belt when I was 17. You're talking
Wow.
about 10 years of relentless training every day. I trained pretty much every day. I trained from Tuesday to Saturday. And if it was open Sunday, I would be there too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I
That's
put in the work. So basically the art, helped me develop my mind. So as I started getting older and I started getting into music, and that started really being because music was a hobby. I was just doing it, because I was still trying to, I was fighting and I was a world champion. And
hmm
so what I used to do, I used to take my world champion money from my fight, my prize money, and I would put it back into trying to, get equipment and do little stuff. But yeah, man, it really taught me the mindset of the music. And so when I got into the music business, it was the same attitude. So I tell people I'm not really a musician more than a martial artist, that do music. And I apply those same principles. It's about, saying, self-discipline is, saying, is something that the definition of self-discipline is doing something you really don't want to do, but you do it anyway because it's good for you. It's good for you in the long run, meaning you don't
hmm
want to cut costs. Nobody's going to make you get up and practice being in the studio, practice
Exactly.
on your beats, practice on your melodies, practice on your time and your rhythm. Nobody, no, that's up to you. That's
Yep.
up to you to put in those hours and that work to really be dedicated to what you love.
Yep.
And when after you become an adult, you start realizing the world don't care about if you're successful or not.
Mm.
If you don't care, and you don't put the work in and you don't put the hours in, then you get what you get.
Yep.
You know, so when I'm looking at saying your degrees and what you're doing for your kids and stuff like that, that shows why me and you've been connecting for years now.
Mm.
I mean, years, just our bond and everything. And I'm gonna share something else with the people. So I want them now, since they don't really know who you are, tell them who you are and what you've done, and let them know your background, homie.
Teak from Hallway Productions, based out of Stockton. Um, my father was a Black Panther. My mom was a musician, electrician. So seeing these things growing up is dope. Pretty much grew up poor out here in Stockton, but the music was always around. In middle school, I started playing jazz. I had a teacher who like put a bass in my hands, and he was like, because I already played drums, he was like, I think you'll learn this thing. And bass ended up being like the instrument I excelled at. Went to high school, played bass. Started playing keys under the direction of Mel Wan, Arctic Coleman out here in Stockton. But always I wanted to make sure I had an education. My mom made sure I did that too. So she made sure I went to UC Davis. I also got into Berkeley, but I went to end up going to Davis and studying biochemistry. And so I finished up at Davis. And so I do this little degree back here is my degree in biochemistry, which is
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, I was set to pretty much go to medical school. But the music was always pretty much the thing because I lived with people who were at the time students, but their parents were doctors. And I'm from the hood studying with these people, and they're the best people ever from the Bay, and they're all Black doctors. So I seen how dedicated they were to science. I knew I had that same dedication to music, even though I could have been like below average or average doctor. I knew I was like an exceptional musician. So, and at the end of my years at Davis, I had a cousin who is Chief Excel from Black Alicious. And so he needed some parts at the last minute played on a song called Purest Love, which ended up being on the Blazing Arrow album. So he got me and my brother in the studio. I ended up playing bass, keys, and guitar on Pierce Love, and my brother's playing trumpet. I don't know if you know
Mm.
my he plays trumpet.
Then I did not know that. And that's another shout out to D, man. D,
Yeah,
fire, man,
yeah,
fire.
he's the gangster trumpet player, man. So
And tell him that, and that's your brother. That's your actual brother.
That's my brother, and so we both do hallway productions. Like he at the time that while I was in college, D worked pretty much, and he just he kept making beats, and so he made a name for himself. So I'm glad we segued in that. He made
Right.
made a name for himself, out here in Stockton on the streets. Just making beats and mixing. So the whole time, me and him were kind of building this thing with these artists out here in Stockton. And so, that all culminated to being in the studio working with Black Alicious. And so I just being in the studio, I knew that was my office. That was my ER was being in the studio.
Yeah.
So after I graduated, looked for a couple jobs. It didn't work out. Um, and then my brother, he was working, and then but we knew we were doing music the whole time, and we were working with artists. We had our artist Bear out here in Stockton, and so things just kept culminating. Then we linked up with like E40 hopped on this record for us out here that we're working on with the artist, and we're like, damn, this is crazy. Like this is like 2003. So then about 2004, like out there in Oakland, what's homie name? Tone Capone reached out.
Tone Capone.
Yeah, so this is 2004, and he was like, "Bro, I think y'all got it." So we were getting all these indicators that things were going right. So then we got linked up with Raw Records, out here in Stockton. Raw Records, they were based out of the Bay Area. I think they were in Walnut Creek or whatever. And so
I think I remember Raw Records.
Raw Records did That's My Word. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
remember
so
they reached out to me and bought some tracks.
yeah. So, we ended up working with them and got their situation going, and D got them in contact with BA, and then BA got the label guy in contact with Keak. And so the only missing piece, because they were getting music for us, was Tracks a Million. So the owner met Tracks a Million, and that's history. So we're part of that Bay history that a lot of people don't know about. Like my brother helped put those pieces together that made That's My Word. That's My Word. So
Mm.
long story short, that happens, and we're building, and then we link up with a couple people. Dave Lopez introduced us to Crazy Tunes. Crazy Tunes introduced us to Dub C. Dub C, likes records that we're doing, and then I think it's like 2005. Cube was gonna go on vacation, and Dub and Tunes was like, "I'm gonna give Cube this CD." Cube wrote to one beat. I think that song ended up being, I think it was called Dick Tease. It didn't come out, and then after that, he wrote "Anybody Seen the Popos," and
Mm.
these are the first two, like the first CD. We're talking about this is 2008.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, so he's getting CDs from us. These are the first two things that he wrote, and so the rest was history. Then after that, it was like T Bone. We get a Grammy nomination. Then it was like Lettucey with Black Alicious, and that was another two Grammy nominations. And just the work just kept coming in. Like I've never lost a client. Yeah, and that's pretty much that was the long version of it. But yeah, I've never lost a
Right.
client. My musical style is just across the board. Like one of the people I'm working with literally right now is Ruben Studdard. And then, we just did the single for E40. And that's where the dynamic comes in with the type of producer that I want to be. So
Right.
now here we are.
Hey man, listen, man. I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. Teak and his brother, man, they're so fire on production. And just, I remember when we first kind of met, it was kind of met through like, basically through like Cube, I guess. It would be kind of how it happened, how we like put that connection together. And I'm listening to these records, and I'm like, man, these records is hard, These I mean, you did like several records on which is one of my favorite albums. Of course, Cube got a lot of my favorite albums, but the one that really tripped me out was uh oh my
Coldplay.
good oh my god. If y'all have never heard Cold Places, y'all please go listen to Cube. What album is that on? That's on
Uh,
that's not that's not that's not raw footage. It's
yes, raw footage.
is that raw footage? That's the
Yes,
raw footage?
or on there. Yep.
It's raw footage, right?
Yep.
Is it raw? Okay. The Cold Places track that you did on, man, bro, I play that still. I remember we had that conversation. I said, man, the way, see, I don't think people really understand. No, music is a feeling, and you could tell when people have passion. Because
Mm-hmm.
the way I heard that record, I heard it even when I was in New York. Matter of fact, I was working on several deals in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and the record had just dropped, and I was like, man, and that's the only record I'm playing. I'm just playing it back to back to back to back. I'm like, because I don't think people really understand. I'm a real orchestral. I love orchestral. That's my thing. What got me into music was the James Bond. Remember, I go back to Enter the Dragon. So you go back to Enter the Dragon, it's really orchestral driven. Saying with the
Mm-hmm.
strings. Saying, the just the orchestral sounds in there. It just catches the ear. So the strings you had moving and bouncing in there was so ridiculous. The drums, just everything was just so fire. And I was like, bro, this is crazy. This
Appreciate.
is this is crazy. This
I
this is
remember.
crazy.
So I met you at a battle. Like it was a battle out in the Bay, and then I don't know how I seen you, and then I don't know how we got to talking, and I think I told you Teak Hallway Productions, and Hallway Productions, and you're like, I think you mentioned Cold Places, and I mean, since I met you, it's always been nothing but love and about the music. You're like
Yeah,
y'all, you're like y'all are the coldest. He was like, man, I give it up to y'all because I'm your
yeah.
I'm a fan of yours, and so meeting you and that is the conversation we had to me was crazy. It was crazy.
Man, you know what's so crazy? I try to tell, my fans and everybody that's on here, man, that I'm here to inspire cats to be great, right?
Mhm.
My whole job is to teach people that music is not a gimmick. Even though they make it like a gimmick, it's so easy to do now that everybody think that they don't have to put in the work. You
Mhm.
know, I'm an inspirator. What I'm saying, I inspire people to dig in themselves.
Mhm.
But I also understand when I see people that have talent is dope. I'm not a hater. I'm the type of
Yep.
person like that's fire.
Yep.
I
That's
like
I am.
when I see what you do, it motivates me. Still sharp and still. And I tell people we have to stop being so insecure about where we at in our life and learn from the ones that's really putting in that passion.
Yep.
That record made me go into the lab and made me work. it made me say, "Whoo, you got somebody out here like it's because it's almost like a silent game of." Oh no, he can't be doing that. I gotta get, you know what I mean? It's like
Yep.
but it's a friendly game of competition. Like,
Yeah.
man, he
But
doing that
you know what? That ties into people's insecurities too. Like I know how dope I am. I'm a learner. Like I'd rather learn from you than try to cut you down
for
and,
sure,
and make myself feel better. I've hella high self esteem. Like
for sure.
there's no shortage. So it's revealing when someone is a hater. You know what I'm saying? And
Right,
I've lost a couple haters. I don't hate. So when you hate me, like you got some serious issues.
for sure.
But yeah, I think it's revealing. Like people tell on themselves when they start hating, and I think
That's
that
by far, by
yeah,
far.
and it is a silent competition because that's how you grow. You see what someone else does, and you don't have to cut them down in order to still like learn from them and grow from them. Like you don't have to do that at all.
What
So
well, that's the funny part that goes back to the martial arts. It's like me being in martial arts, I fought the best fighters in the world. I know some people might know of Billy Blanks, the Taibo dude, but I
hmm
fought him in the world games. You know what I'm saying? I fought some of the best. And you learn from the best and you become the best when you embrace the best.
hmm
Some people's stubbornness is that they don't want to have to push themselves against anything they feel will be a threat to them. You dig what I'm
yeah,
saying? I've never felt threatened by anybody, any
yeah,
producer, anybody, because I understand that whatever they have, I'm going to be motivated and inspired by. And this
hmm
is why it's so easy for me to put people on or help or do whatever, because I'm a learner as well as a teacher. So in
yeah,
order to be a mentor, you have to be able to listen and learn too
yep,
in those processes. I think people just want to be bosses. You can't be a good boss if you're not a good follower. You have to be able
yep.
to follow from
Uh,
good leaders, though. I mean, from good leaders, not be a follower of just any old body that say any old thing, but you have to be able to be a good follower of, man, this dude's inspiring me. This dude's inspiring me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even Dre, you can take somebody like Dre. As elite as Dre is, if you go in the studio with Dre is so down to earth. He'll listen to your ideas like, hey, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? And he'll be inspired by
yeah,
talent. This is why he's the world renowned Dr. Dre, because he soaks up. He's still a sponge.
yep,
Even though his accolades is through the roof, he's still a sponge.
yep,
I've watched it. I mean, remember when we did a song together? He's like, "Ski, that's dope, bro. Oh, I love it." He's sponging. You know what I mean? He's not sitting up there like, "Nah," not at all. He's
but
so
that makes sense because that's my natural mentality, and so that's why I was telling you, like, I think I'm gonna be pretty damn dope 50, 60, however old we get, we're still able to produce. It's the same qualities though, like, just always learning. And then that's when like other people are probably not gonna grow or prosper because of the hater mentality. Like your Dre's don't have that, your Timbos don't have that. Like the
yeah.
even with fighting, probably some of the greatest. I don't know if they have that same quality or not, but they probably do. Where
They
they're
do.
all constantly learning.
Most people that's elite, that's really really on another level. Most of them have that attitude that they learn. They constantly learn no matter what. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what level no what level you at. We
That's
constantly learn.
yep.
And like I said again, so this is why I wanted you to be on here because I have so much respect for not only just the music you do, but now we're gonna take it to a whole nother level of the sonics
Mm-hmm.
that you bring. That is very rare to see somebody really focus on the separation of music. So I want to let y'all know, Teak just did a beat on my converter drums, right? Crazy beat, crazy. If you haven't seen the beat he did, well, how long it took you to do the beat?
15 minutes. Yeah.
15 minutes. Beat crazy. But what's more crazy about it? I mean, I knew the drums was gonna be hard.
The
But
push.
not only was the drums hard, the music was dope. But when you sent me the actual finished version, because you sent me the MP3,
Yeah.
the mix was crazy. The mix was crazy. I was like, I heard the separation. It's like, bro, and you not even tripping off the beat. You're like, man, I just kind of threw this together. You know what I mean?
I knew it was dope. I mean, I wasn't like, oh, it's a little piece of shit beat. Like, nah, the shit was dope. That's where I'm at musically now. But I knew sending, so I probably spent another 20 minutes on that mix. It probably was 50, probably another 20 minutes just getting that together. But that's just where my ear is. Like it's just
Hmm.
that's where I'm at currently with music. Everything has to sound right. Like even when I get these records with these other artists, like if it doesn't sound good, then you have to send me the files and we'll get it at least a good demo on it. Like it has to sound like that. Period. Like period.
A lot of people have a problem with the conversation of sound. You know, a lot of people are so caught up in workflow to the point where they don't even understand that in order for you to really make music, you have to make things sound amazing. I think
Yeah.
sound is confusing to people. You know, people are very ignorant. And when I say ignorant, I say it humbly because ignorance is just not knowing, right? So people think, oh, sound. Well, I hear the kick, I hear the snare. Yeah, but you don't hear it.
So
You
the other
don't.
you got to understand, like, because there was a time where I didn't understand these things, but frequency ranges though, like I read up on it. I did a lot of just period. I didn't want to be ignorant about these things, like knowing that if you have a piano on the track, like it's gonna cut at about 1,000 hertz. You're gonna if you want like the fullness at about 250s, where you're gonna turn that up, roll off the bottom. If you're bass, if you're playing live bass, like you're gonna also have to roll off other instruments that are sitting in that same frequency range, like your hi hats. Do you want them crispy? Do you want the top in your snare, which you can like really make crispy at like I don't know 11,000? The vocals might hit there, so you're gonna have to cut there. Like people don't understand these things with music. Like, and then
Right.
we're not talking compressors. Like, do you want the bottom to hit with your compressor, the top to hit? You know, do you want to have a ducking issue to where your kick is poking through and your bass can hit? Like these are things that people don't want to sit and talk about, which
They
are
don't. They don't. And this is the conversation. This is the conversation that I have on my platform is that we got to address the elephant in the room. We already know that technology has made it where anybody can do music, which is not good to me because that means that a lot of people is going to skip a lot of the foundations, and this is the reason why they're just winging it. They're like throwing darts blindly, hoping
yep.
they hit something. They just hoping they hit something. I'm just gonna keep working on 16,000 beats and be trash every day. You
Hey,
know,
I,
you
I keep getting an advertisement on Instagram for this plugin that you just run the vocals through it and you hit these buttons and it automatically makes it sharper, crispy, rolls off the bottom and top, which is dope for workflow. But do you even understand what it's doing?
that's the key.
Yes, you don't.
That's the key. People think that I be harping on plugins. There's nothing wrong with plugins, but if you don't understand the hardware of where it came from,
Yep,
then you're just going through you like I said, you're just throwing a bunch of blind darts. You have
yep.
to understand these things. People don't understand there was a double entendre behind, converter drums. The
Okay.
reason why that title came was because people thought that converters was a laughing thing. Oh, converters! Oh, keep talking about converters, man. Who care about converters, man? We working on beats. I'm like, bro, everything that you do runs through a converter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just does, whether
Yep.
you know it or not. So it's that's the mentality of people is they don't understand your biggest power comes from your sonic of how it hits the ears. People got
Mm-hmm.
to understand. And I made this scenario. Just imagine you go look at a movie right now and it's just pixelated and you just watching it for 2 hours and it just don't look good to your eyes.
Yeah,
You
that's
like, bro, this gonna be hard to watch this whole 2 hour movie when
yeah,
it's looking all fuzzy and that's the same with a mix. That's the
yeah,
same with if your kicks is muffled and muddied in, and it's not. There's no separation. The kicks and the bass are clashing. You know,
yeah,
with analog music or converters, what happens is you really start getting a good separation. Like converters can add a little bit of that saturation, which we were talking about earlier. You
yeah.
know, you said put that little sat. It adds these things. So when you're going through really high end converters, it's not gonna make your mix that much hard at
Mhm.
all. You
Yeah.
know, because stuff started separating. You dig what I'm saying?
Your drums cut right through. Like usually, because I use I work in a box. Um,
Hmm.
the drums are always really flat. But the one thing that I noticed was like with the converter drums, your hi hats. So that hi-hat cut, there was like just all the little I don't even know what you call them. All the little pieces in there, your hi-hats cut right through, the kicks cut right through. They had a little bit of headway too. Like it just I didn't have to do very much to those things. They cut right through my mix. Because
Thank you,
usually
bro.
I have to add distortion to get my kick the way it needs to be and to EQ the certain parts, but they cut right through. I didn't have to do much to them, which is, drums runs hip hop. You know what I mean? So
That's facts. That's
yeah,
facts. That's
everything in
facts.
the place around those drums, just how they cut through is just to me that was crazy. That's why that mix only took 20 minutes and it
What
sounds pretty damn good.
and that was put a smile on my face because that was the reason why, it's crazy, and I say this over and over, and I'll continue to say it. I had no intention of selling drums to nobody because
Hmm.
those are my drums. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know how it is. That was a personal thing. We
yeah,
got, nah, I mean, these, you can't have these drums.
yeah.
It
Not
was a
like that
personal.
anymore.
Yeah, it was personal. It was personal. So I don't think my fans really understand when what they're getting is really priceless. This is me showing them the power of how stuff should sound. It
Yeah,
actually, like you said, you being a Grammy award winning producer and doing the stuff you've done, you understand that, oh my God, Ski just made my job that much more easier. You know
we,
what I'm
we
saying?
we were getting mixes, especially with Cube. Our stuff was all mixed on SSL, so we got spoiled on how those things sound like. And then running in the box, we're like, that's not the same sound. Even when
Not the same sound.
it's not the same. Like you can
Not the
tell.
same.
That's why in Michael Jackson and Prince and all the great Stevie, that's why their stuff sound like that. And ours, this new generation sounds the way it does.
Right.
Really, it's just the quality isn't there.
And I try to tell people, man, technology is technology. Nobody is trying to. I think people misconstrue information based upon their insecurities.
Yep.
So people will get mad at you because it makes you feel like, well, man, I'm in the box. I can't afford what you got, Ski. And they take stuff and they run with it. It's like, bro, you got to listen to what's being said. Nobody's trying to scrutinize you for whatever you're using, from MPCs on down. This is not about me telling you, hey, I'm telling you, be aware. If you don't understand, mixing, you don't understand how to get the most out of your music, you will be deceived by thinking these things are going to just help you when you don't understand. You might have to compensate some other things to help you achieve the sound that you might be trying to go for. And a lot of people,
Absolutely.
let me
I'm,
just finish.
I'm mostly in the box, like period.
Right,
Like unless I'm playing like guitar or bass or whatever, like I'm mostly in the box. But I understand what I'm compensating. I understand it's going to take me the extra however long to get my
right.
sound like that. And it's not. I'm in the box and I'm not using a bunch of hardware. I understand the hardware. It comes
Mhm.
understanding of music and how it should sound. Like
Right.
even the beat I did yesterday, it's all dope because the pieces that understand how it should sound though.
And I
Like,
want to say this, for you to be in the box, this is the what I'm trying to tell people. It's not like you can't be in the box. You just need to understand how to maximize what you got. You know what I'm saying? And you're doing that.
yep,
You're understanding because talking to you, you're like, well, you know what? I know I'm in the box, I'm doing this, but I'm doing this to compensate, and I'm gonna add a little bit more of the saturation so I
yep,
can get a little bit of more this low end and get all of these things to come together. You get it. And
yep.
this is what I'm trying to tell people. It's not about you, whether you in the box, whether you on hardware. You need to understand how you get your stuff to sound immaculate to the ears of the people,
Yep.
no matter
And
what you're working on.
yeah, and the other thing is, I mean, I know I'm dope. Like, and I say that humbly because I usually don't say that, but I'm good. And then I did all the hard work, educate myself on what makes good music sound the way it does. You know what I mean? So, others might not be as good. So, I mean, they need to really educate themselves and put in the 20 years that I did to get to where I am now. Like, it's a solid 20 and I'm still learning. Like,
For
you know,
sure.
I played this mix for somebody else, they're probably like, that sounds cool, but let's try these other things. I'd be like, I didn't think of that. So constant student all the time and understanding music.
I mean, bro, it's just like I said again. It's not that many people that I know that's in the box, but when I do hear them, like you and my other brother, Hellfire, man, they can make stuff sound so dope in the box. because they understand and you understand. And this is what I'm
Yep.
trying to tell people is understand your gear, understand what you're doing. And one of the biggest keys is for music and for us to get back to the music and people being great, you have to understand how your stuff sounds so it can inspire you
Hmm.
to know how to, really, really get focused on how you make great music because it's got to sound good in order for you to be inspired too, you know?
Like what? Like one of the things I do is I run my entire mix through. It's not the same though. Real to real tape plug-in. Like it does not sound the same as because we got a lot of our records cut to tape. You know what I'm saying? And so to compensate for that, we got these plugins that are sounding like tape. And I knew back in the day, like you from having ADATs, my bass playing my like when I would play bass, it never sounded as good as having it on tape.
And
It
stop on that for a second. Your bass playing is crazy. If y'all don't
appreciate
know about my man bass playing, it's crazy. The way
appreciate
you be rolling that bass, woo,
that.
crazy, crazy, bro.
Hey man, I play jazz, so I mean, I
Man,
listen to a lot of jazz bass players and funk.
woo, man, you be raw. That's what made me like that Cold Places. The way that
Yeah.
boom, the boom, 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 boom. I'm like, well, hey, it sent chills down my arm, bro. Like, I'm such a fan of music and great
Appreciate
music that when you hear great music, man, you can't do nothing but just. I'm not a fan of music the same way now as I am, far as more of the past. And a big reason is because a lot of people don't know how to record.
mm,
So, a lot of stuff that I hear sounds very sterile, sounding. It has no emotion, it has no feeling. You hear the music, but you don't feel the music. And I think that's hard when you don't study music, you don't understand that music is a feeling and you want to feel it. And when I hear your stuff and I hear certain people's stuff, I get that feeling and
mm.
I just play it back. When you start playing stuff people back and back and back, that's when you know you've done what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, you know what too? And it goes both ways. Like if I don't get that feeling, I'm not sending it out like that.
That same way. Same
Yeah.
way.
I-
Same way.
yeah. Or else I'm sending you like a lesser version of myself, and I don't want.
People want to
And
know what in the box mean. In the box is when you're working directly in a DAW.
hmm
So you in the DAW, they call it in the box. It's like you don't have nothing else but the DAW. And they call it working in that box area. If for those who don't know, you
hmm
know, um, analog recording is when you have, outboard gear and you have maybe like tape machines and, outboard compressors is hardware gear. You're working just in that digital, in the box is just working in that digital domain. And now you have another term called hybrid, which that's a combination of analog hardware with the box, with the digital DAW. You know what I mean? So now you're kind of getting the best of both worlds, which that's the way I work, which is better for me because I'm actually really am hitting the tape. I am hitting all these hardware things. Then I'm going in the DAW. I'm using the DAW as a tape machine. So once I get it in there, I can go in there and tweak and micro tweak stuff with the plugins now. So I use the plugins to enhance more than it be the enhancer. It's like that is not my main turn to. It's my stuff to tweak, hearing stuff, microscope stuff.
I've seen
That
a couple questions too. My Instagram is hallway prods, hallway PRODZ. And then someone asked about my DAW. I'm using what am I using? I kind of use everything. I have my MPC 4000 back here. I haven't used it
woo,
in a long time. That was my go-to. I did all the
yeah,
cubes on the 2000 XL and then on the 4000. And then all the later stuff was in Logic, Machine, and I use Logic inside of Machine, and then I dump it all in Pro Tools. I dump everything into Pro Tools before I send it out. It's just my thing. I like to be in control of the mix, and that's pretty much all I use.
yeah, man. Yeah, you got stuff sounding amazing, man. I want to,
Appreciate.
I want to tell two stories real quick. I don't even know which one I want to start with because one is emotional for me. But
Mhm,
so I think I'll get that one out the way because I don't want to, saying, it's real personal for me. So, I had a personal brother, friend by the name of Red the Arsonist.
mm,
And really, really dope artist. Really, really dope. I mean, fire. I had put him on MC Ren's hook for MC Ren's single that he was doing. And I had introduced him to Cube, and I had him in the studio with Dre. Dre loved him. Dre was like, man, let's work, So this is around the time, saying when Dre was getting ready to drop the Compton record, you
Mm.
know. We was out there and Dre was like, oh, he hard, let's work. We got the photos and the whole nine. So, unfortunately, he passed away, he had a blood clot that nobody caught. Nobody knew. Saying nobody knew. It's something that could have been caught, but the doctors, they didn't scan. They didn't scan. They didn't, how it is. You got to
Right.
really stay on top of stuff.
Yep.
So he passed away, man. Hurt my heart, man. I mean, bro, I was in tears for months and months and months because not only was he a dope artist, but he had became like my little brother. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Really and good. I mean, I'm talking about just like you, just like me, just solid, just a solid rider. He's a rider, you know what I mean? But to get away from just that emotional part, because that was emotional, but the thing was is that you reached out to me and you was like, man, Ski, whatever I need, whatever you need from me, I got you, boom, 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 and you did a remix for one of his records.
Super.
And that right there showed our brotherhood because you reached out at a time of emotion and hardship, far as, where my heart was at, far as losing my artist. And you was like, bro, whatever you need, I got you. And you did a dope, dope remix for my brother. And
Mm.
I'm never going to forget that because you did that out of your heart. You know what I'm
Oh.
saying? And not only did you do that, but you added in those dope strings that I like.
Yes, I did.
You added in them dope strings. So I was like, okay, all right, this is really my brother because you knew what I like. You know what I mean? And you
Yep.
like, Ski, I got you. Watch, I got a surprise for you. You added them strings. I said, oh. So, man, I want to salute you, Teak, because you have been not only a pillar in producing and doing what you do, but your God fearing heart and who you are as a man first,
Appreciate
because our connection is our connection far as how we connect as men, you know what I'm saying? How we get down and then our music brings us together on a whole nother level. And when
it. Yeah.
you have that type of relationship, it makes a special relationship because we can always hit each other and bounce off each other. And
Oh.
that's what it's really about, steel sharpens steel. So I
Yep.
just want to salute you on this live to tell people that, man, yeah, this man came through for me at a time when I was hurting and losing my artist and really was like, broski, I got you, man, and came with a dope remix. And another person that came through, and I just talked to him the other day, is a Focus. If you know anything about Focus that works with Dre, he was
He-
another one. Focus was actually there when Red was there, and he built with Red too, and Focus did a remix for him as well, you
mm.
know. So I mean, like these are good brothers, man. I'm talking about unconditional, not on no Hollywood industry. When you get in this industry, you start realizing there's some people that you just know from the industry, and then there's some that you really build a real, real brotherhood in the industry.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people that haven't been in the industry is going to learn that the hard way that not everybody is just cohesive, you know what I'm saying, far as being in this industry, you know?
What's crazy is we don't when we usually connect, like you reach out or whatever, we don't even talk about industry
We
stuff though.
don't.
It's
We don't.
not really
No,
about.
not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Because it's a real brotherhood. We know
Hmm.
we can if we want to, but it's so past that
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter. It don't if we talk about it, it's just gonna be natural. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we don't, it's not nothing that we because that's not our only common goal. You
Yeah,
know what I
exactly.
mean? But I do remember the other story I was gonna tell was the other one when we both did some dope mixes for one of the Cubes album. I think it was Everything's Corrupt. And
Hmm.
and how and how or how a couple of the mixes got smashed in the mastering. You know
All
what
of
I
my
mean?
ass, man. I was so disappointed, but
Yeah, man. You know, so if people don't know, no, we did some tracks on Cubes, Everything's Corrupt. And what I tell people is mixing and mastering, they all go hand in hand. And you mess one of them up and it could be catastrophic for the record. And so we both handed in some great mixes, but the mastering kind of fell a little bit short of our expectation. So, the great thing about it though is they still sounded good probably to everybody else's ears because, they're not going to hear what we hear really.
it's
But
some of them records are hard to listen to. Like even the
yeah,
ones they were really dope, and I brought a lot of things, elements in my records. when they got squashed, it was kind of, it took all the space out the record, man.
Yes, yeah, it did by far, by far. But I think that that's a learning experience too. You know, a lot of times, you know, you get a chance to really realize that you have to be meticulous about your records. You know, you can't just do records, get a good mix, and then take it to any old body, and then they just tear that whole everything you done down. And that's the same thing what I tell people about MP3s. It's like if I put in all this time for a record and I'm
Yeah.
making an MP3, I've just took all my dynamics and all my data away from it. And
Yep.
this is the reason why I put stuff directly on my platform, easki.com, because if I am going to give you a file, it's going to be a wave file, and it's going to be
Mhm.
all of that data is going to be there. So you get all the dynamics. The same thing with, you know, the drums, the converter drums. I'm giving you wave files. They're not MP3s. They're
Mhm.
straight up wave files. You know what I mean? Where you get, we don't want to tell you who did the mastering.
I was gonna say, I don't want to smear that person's
Yeah,
name.
no, no, no. We not, we don't, it's
That
just,
person.
like I said again, we only
That,
talking about it because we talk about Sonics.
yeah, did some good mixes for me. So
Yeah.
it there's a rule that if you mix, you probably shouldn't master. And it's a good rule. I kind of like to go by. Sometimes you're good at both, but this person did both. So when he squashed one, when he went to mastering, he squashed.
Right.
It is what it is.
Yeah. 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 So, this is not about, really trying to throw anybody on the bus. It's just to show that everything has to flow off of each other. It just has to come off each other, or everything just kind of it becomes collateral damage. And I think we became collateral damage by default. I don't think it was on
Yeah.
purpose. It's just that's the stuff that happens. But as a person that takes pride in Sonics, you can hear how stuff and you like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? It just all that hard work, you just feel like, man, it just is gone, man. You
Cause,
know?
'cause sometimes we're spending like okay, just putting the tracks together, but on production, like it could be months making sure every little piece is done, like everything sounds great. Then when you hand it over, when it's out of your control, you kind of like, man, we did it ourselves and had it sound in pristine. But that's it's kind of being powerless too, or when you're done, you put in all the work, and then like someone else kind of just drops the ball. You kind of like, man, like it was almost there, and then someone else ruins it for you. Like,
Yeah, I remember when Cube heard the mix, it was still in the kitchen. He was like, Ski, this is crazy. I mean, he was like, this is crazy. I was like, man, I put my heart into it, homie. But,
hmm
you know, um, what I was gonna say is that it's almost like, how you wash your car, you get your car washed, and you get a nice car wash, and then all of a sudden it just rains. You like, bro,
yeah,
that's kind of the equivalent of how you feel. It's like, bro, I did all of this washing and detailing and all of this, got the rims
yep,
chromed up, everything looking good, and then it just rained.
yeah.
I'm like,
That's a
bro,
good
you just
analogy.
killed everything I just put into this. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
that's why I tell people I'm very adamant about Sonics. I'm very adamant about people understanding, because you have the tools to do your music
hmm
doesn't mean you should do everything. You know?
So yeah, exactly. So I think there's I'm getting better at producing records or whatever, but there was a point I think like maybe 15 years ago where I noticed I was making the music like I would put the tracks together and I'm like these sound dope. I was doing that so I can get them into Pro Tools so I can learn how to manipulate the frequencies and the sound. Like I got more excited about that because I was learning and because I was learning like oh this is how things work. So yeah, there was a point where I was like I think I'm putting these records together so once I get it in the box or get it in Pro Tools or whatever, I can start adding. I can actually start producing. So when I started noticing that, I was like, there's growth. You can feel the growth like as a producer. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right. Yeah, man. I mean, you've definitely been growing, man. Your music is dope. That new E40 stuff is slapping hard, really
Appreciate.
hard, man. Like you going hard, bro. You really showing, you know, not only that, I mean, your musicianship, but you're showing that you're making quality stuff that can stand the test of time. And I think that's what people need to understand. There's a difference between popularity and success. You can be popular right now and still be trash. You
Yeah,
know,
because the cool thing that I like about the 40 record is, first of all, I don't have a record that sounds like that, and I like to show like how far my product, like how wide my scale is as far as production. Like that doesn't sound like any of my other records. It sounds like less complex, but still dynamic. But I want to show I could do something that sounds like that, and
hold on, Tech. Keep talking to him. Go ahead.
oh, for sure. I wanted to show that because before I did the 40 record, I put out with my other producer partners, put out a record called The Gym with Angie Stone featuring Music Soul Child. And it's super musical. Like Music Soul Child's on there. Like it sounds like it's a neo soul record. Then right after that, drop E40, which doesn't sound anything like that. Like you probably would have no idea the same person did those two records. And
Right.
that's the type of producer I like. I want to be. Like I like to be. I like to do that.
Right. I mean, dude, like you would never like for me hearing your music presentation and to hear that, I would be like, it's just like two different people. It's like you would never thought that. You like, what?
That's and
Hallway
I think that's
Production did that?
growth as a
Like,
producer.
bro, that's what a lot of people say about, even with my stuff, they don't know if I'm gonna do something that's just coming from, my soil, or if I'm gonna do something got an East Coast feel or Southern feel or some boom bap. It's
Exactly.
like being a producer, you want to show a wide range. You want to be able to show people the diversity. I think that's a true producer. This is why I tell people when you get caught up in just one sound, you really
Hmm.
limit yourself from the growth, you know, um,
Hmm.
because I hear so much stuff that's just one dimensional. You know what I
So
mean?
I will drop a gem too. That's the one thing that's kept me working for 20 years is that hey, being a musician, but I can work on a commercial with my cousin Chief Excel. Like we did one of them was like a promo for uh it's the movie with the it's like the Ray Romano movie. It was a animated film. But
Mm-hmm.
I could do that and then keep working with E40 and then do like scoring like for a soundtrack or anything like that. Like it's having like the dexterity and knowledge to like do anything in music, and that's what's going to keep you working. Like there's times where no one's buying rap records or whatever. You need to be able to do a whole bunch of like sometimes it's just they want me to add horns and strings to a record that sounds like horns, actual horns and strings, and I'm like, that's what you need to do to stay working. Like
Right.
I do that and do rap records and maybe add a little bit to a jazz record, maybe mix a record, maybe record artists. Like you have to learn, I think, the whole spectrum in order to really keep working and to be like, I think, effective at your craft. So that's kind of been always my goal is to like maximize what I could do musically and the work. Like, because there's a bunch of stuff you guys probably haven't even heard, have heard that you didn't even know I had a little piece of it or whatever. It's just being able to work and do the multiple things in music.
Man, bro, I mean, I think that's what makes you so dope, bro, is that, you do challenge yourself. You make yourself uncomfortable. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes, that's
And
a
I think that's the main thing that I get from a lot of your work and stuff you do. Like even the stuff I've heard you do, like I said, even with just hearing the E40 stuff, I was like, bro, that's crazy. That sounds right up his lane. Like you really got in his brain and you gave him what complements his thing, but you did it your way with the way you would do it, but it
mhm.
still had his elements of how he liked it. You know what I mean?
You know what was uncomfortable? I wrote the hook.
Wow.
I wrote the hook, so that was
Wow.
uncomfortable for me because I don't like putting myself out as a writer like that. So yeah,
That's fire, bro.
yeah.
That's fire.
And I don't do shit like that, but do stuff like that. But that made me uncomfortable. And I was like, I have to do it now.
Bro, I mean, bro, you writing the hook now just said a whole nother thing. So now just being a songwriter and now like what's dope is that I know you get what I get is that you can hear artists that you've heard for a while and kind of get in their mind of how you can create that where it still works for their format, but still find yourself in that on how
I,
you would do it from your
yep.
perspective and
I
your
wrote the
angle.
I wrote the hook first, and
Yes,
then
sir.
music.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Crazy.
sir. Yeah, that's fire, bro. That's fire. Like, bro, I love it, man. And that's the reason why I want to have you on here, brother, because the respect that I have for you and what you've done for the culture, but not only just for the culture and what you've been doing, but just you being humble and being my brother. And I
Oh,
think
for sure.
people need to see that there's a lot of cats that's not the bigger names. You know, there's so many names that's out there that people get caught up with so many big names, but don't really realize that there's a lot of cats that's great, that's under the radar, that's a problem to some of them big names you might know. You know,
I'm gonna
you'll be
keep being.
shocked.
I'm not going away, and and I'm gonna do it quietly too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. You've been doing it, bro. And I appreciate you to the highest degree, bro, as my brother for these years, man, and what you've been doing musically and the whole nine, and just you killing the whole converter drums, but more or less, man, how you really showed our brotherhood with my brother Red the Arsonist. That remix sealed kind of sealed the deal for me. You know,
Oh,
and we were already dope. We were already cool. But when with the reach out and touching somebody at an emotional time and showing that it's bigger, you got a person when they going through some stuff, that means a lot because that's how I am. I'm always trying to reach out and show that this ain't just about just music, man. This is rock, man. I got love for you, bro. And
yeah,
that what you did
it's
and
community.
you
You know,
showed
when you
that
bring
love
it
to
all
my
in,
brother. That was everything to me, my brother. That was
appreciate
everything to me. So I want to salute you, man. Give you your flowers. Give D his flowers, man. It's
appreciate you.
nothing but love. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, bro, we gonna connect because we got some things to do. We got
Oh,
we
for,
got some stuff to do, man.
oh, for sure.
For sure, man. So thank you, bro. I appreciate you having you on here, man. If you
Oh,
see
for
my
sure.
daughter just woke up, she just bust in here.
I
She,
know that's. I lock my door. My daughter don't care.
well,
She'll kick.
no, she's no, she gonna knock. She gonna keep grabbing the door because she know I'm in here. She gonna keep on hitting the door and hitting the door, and this is her favorite unicorn right here, man. So you know, she just on everybody that's been asking about my daughter. So I had did a live and she had fractured her arm on the live.
Oh,
And so, so everybody, her arm is better. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that she's going to need a cast or whatever. They say it's healing really good. So for everybody that want to know, it
cool.
actually happened on the live. You know what I'm saying? Just
Wow.
all of a sudden, I was like, oh my goodness. So I had to get off the live. So everybody went through that situation on the live in real time, you know? So I always try to bring her in there to let her know that she's doing good. Her arm is healing up fine. She just
Mm-hmm.
went to the doctor yesterday. So they saying that it's looking good. So we're gonna go back and
See,
handle business.
that's how I know you're a real one too, because that would happen to me. Like my kids come in, like you know how you like it's about family, and you know what I mean. Like a lot of people don't want them to see those different parts of themselves. You know, especially somebody else like yourself too. You know who
Yeah.
have experience with the streets though. But part of being a man, I mean, you got
I
to do
think
it.
I think people need to understand that, bro. Like, we're human beings, bro. Like I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm not gonna just post my daughter and my family on social media. I'm not doing that because that's not what I'm here to do. But if
Yep.
I'm doing a live and I'm in my space and my daughter just happened to come in here, I'm not like but like I'm gonna
Yeah.
embrace it. I'm gonna embrace what it is. I'm gonna embrace it because we human. We do have families. We do.
Real.
We are loving people, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when you are a public domain, people think you're invincible. This is why I tell people don't idolize
Mm-hmm.
because I don't care how big people are. You're still a human. You still, you building God's image. So I don't feel like I'm better than anybody. I don't feel like we all have a life.
Yep.
After everybody gets off this live today, they're gonna have to go work or go make their money and do their thing.
Exactly.
You might look up to me because I do music and you've been inspired by my music and you've been inspired by what I've done for the culture and I've made maybe some of your greatest music maybe as you was coming up, so you've been attached to me.
Mm-hmm.
But that does not make me better than you. It's
Yep.
just that I'm in a field that inspires you. So look at me as inspiration and as a mentor and a person that can inspire you. I don't want you put me and making me your idol, making me no God or none of that stuff. This is why I use this platform to educate people on how I went about doing what I did. Everything I'm doing, y'all can do. It's just, do you want to work as hard as I worked?
Yep.
Do they want to work as hard as you work?
Yep.
That's really what it comes down to. You know what I'm saying? You're looking up to me thinking, man, Ski, do this, do that. Yeah, I worked hard to do that.
Yep.
I didn't just get that. I didn't just get Grammys. I didn't just get no 60 million records worldwide. I had to put in the work. I had a conversation on one of these lives before, and I told this dude, I said, bro, I put in the work. I'm not gonna belittle myself to anybody that ain't worked as hard as me. That's
Exactly.
never going to happen. Now,
Yep.
I can empower you. I can show you how to get to what I've done. But for me to start talking and being passive aggressive, hey, y'all, well, man, I just want you, man, bro, it don't matter if you like what I say or don't. It
Mm-hmm.
matters if I'm truthful on what I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's all that matters to me. If
Yep.
this is not the page for you to want to hear what's truthful, I'm cool with that. This may not be the channel, but I'm gonna be truthful on how I can inspire you. And that's how the drums wind up happening. It's because people started thinking that you could just do any old thing. It's like, no, bro, you want your drums to smack. You want them to cut through, you want them to cut through the mix. You know, you
Yep.
can't just keep on. Half these stock drums are terrible. They stealing drums from other people. They over compress. They, you know, it's like, bro, like those are not good drums at
Uh,
all. You know how many drum kits you see? Oh, Dr. Dre drums and Kanye drums and all these drums, and they
yes.
trash. She's like, come on, man, these not real, bro.
Yep.
So everybody's got a gimmick. Everybody's got some type of agenda. My agenda is to build a community where we are on the same page on how to put in, like this man said, the 10,000 hours, man.
Yep. I see
And
it.
you can't cheat, and you can't cheat the process, bro.
Yep.
That's what people think. They think all these plugins and all these cheat codes. If you know the game like we do, then it's a real cheat code because we
Yep.
understand the foundation. So that's a cheat code for us. But if you don't know it, that ain't a cheat code for you.
Yeah. And
You're
my
gonna have to.
out here in my community, that's they call me. I code.
Yes, 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 bro. So I salute you, bro. We definitely gonna be chopping it up after I get off of here, brother. Man, I
Oh,
love you,
sure.
bro. Keep doing your thing. Tell your brother love, man. Hey, if y'all don't know about the 40 record he did, tell them the name of the 40 record you did.
It's called The Bay. It's produced by Hallway Productions.
Fire, fire. So go check my bro out. You know what I'm saying? And tell him what else you working on. You just was working on Ruben Stutter stuff.
Yeah. So I got a single mixing it a couple days ago. I just finished mixing another record that's going to be the first record on the album called Gretzky. I'm working on Redman. Redman reached out to me. He just got a couple beats from me. What 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I have a single with him already that's just sitting. Working on lyrics, born out in the Bay. Co-producing his entire album. It's gonna be like
Nice.
funk inspired, old school sounding album. It's gonna sound crazy. Like probably have no idea if I didn't tell you that I did that record too. And then I got
I don't know no records you do. I ain't gonna even lie, bro. Like even the stuff we did on the Cube album, I'm like, this dope. And then I look, I'm like, he done it again. You change so many directions musically. It's super impressive, and they all sound dope from different perspectives. I mean, you're capturing so it really shows that you're studying your music. It shows that you're not just tapped into one set sound of music. You are tapped into so much stuff, and having your background as a musician allows you to have so much range
yeah.
that it shows. It shows in your production. Your range is crazy. You have a
hmm
crazy range, and that's fire, bro.
And thank you guys. I see the comments too. I appreciate it. Yeah, that Bay video came out dope, and I appreciate it, man. I
Came
see.
out really dope.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate.
now we know that you did the hook on there, so that's even crazier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. So, man, like I said again, man, shout out to my brother Teak and D, man. You know, D ain't with us, man, but shout out to my brother D, another good person. Hold on, mama. You know what I'm saying? Another person that's your brother, your blood brother, man. That's fire as well,
hmm
man. Nothing but love, man. We gonna stay in touch. We gonna keep it cracking, homie.
All right, for sure. I'll holler at you in a bit.
All right, Teak, man. Salute.
All right, my G.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
Man, that was my brother Teak, man, from Hallway Production, man. If y'all ain't following him, he's fire, man. Check this out, man. Big round of applause for Vicky. Vicky is back. I didn't get a chance to say that in the beginning because we was into our live, but man, we're so glad to have you back, Vic. We love you. Everybody been on here praying for you. Nothing but love. She's back and bounced back and going hard like she always do, man. So much love to Vic. You know what I'm saying? And I know she went through a lot, man. She go through a lot, but she's back on it. So salute to Vic. Salute to my brother Teak. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, man, the moral to this whole live was just to show you that there's a lot of cats out there that's put in a lot of work. And pretty much the people that I'm gonna put on here is gonna be people that really have studied the culture, that study their gear, and really want to take their stuff to the next level. So I just want y'all to be out here understanding. Don't just get caught up in just your equipment and what you do. You have to put in the work. You have to study what you're doing. You have to go in there and go in there like man, I want this. I want this badly. And that's going to change the culture. That's you're going to start shaping into the music is going to start sounding much better and you're going to start getting an idea on how to go about making stuff sound good. You're going to start learning how to really start hearing where your music need to be, and hopefully y'all start studying on how to really play your music and get it to where it needs to be. So, that's what's up with it, man. Love and respect to everybody that's on the live. You know what I mean? And I hope y'all got something from it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see no super chats, so maybe I didn't appreciate this that much. But whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying? It's still nothing but love and respect. You know what I'm saying? What's good? Oh, Tupac, I see you on here, brother. Vic, how you feeling today? You feeling good, Vic? Big Sauce. Yes, indeed. Oh yeah, and by the way, man, I got my I got my two monitors supposed to be coming today. So I'm gonna let y'all in on my monitors, man. Got these nice monitors coming today. I can't wait. Can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. So I'll let y'all know about these monitors that's coming in, these computer monitors. Thank you, Alpha Me. Appreciate it, man. Shonda, what's good? Salute, 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 my brother. Salute, salute. Salute to everybody that's on here, that was on here, that's enjoyed the live, man. You know what I'm saying? I just want to bring, some real talk on here. Dayton, Ohio. Blaze, what's up? Funny form. Thank you. Thank you. Tupac Ski, that E40, the Bay track goes hard. Wasn't aware Teak did that. Yes, he did. He did do that. You want a spoon? Okay, hold on, okay? Let me finish this. Let me finish this live, okay? Okay. You want to say hi? No, you gotta say hi. You gotta say hi. You gotta say hi to the people on the live, right? Say hi. Say hi. Don't get shy now. You've been talking. Don't cross your eyes. You know I hate when you do that. You know I hate when you do that. Say hi. Hi. Say I love y'all. I love. Yes. Say thank you for the prayers. Say hopefully this is gonna come off really, really soon. Mwah. Big girl. Man. So yeah, she says she say hi, man. She in the background, but she get on the camera. She get on the camera, man. She's just a whole nother person. But nothing but love, y'all, man. Hopefully, man, everybody is getting something from this information, man. Hopefully it inspires everybody. Like I said again, yeah, man, these new computer monitors coming, man. It's that time, man. It's time for some new monitors, man. We definitely got the contest coming. Vic is telling y'all. We got that coming. So y'all get it. Y'all go get them converter shirts because you're gonna need them to be in the contest too. So go get them. I might have another surprise for y'all coming soon. I've been working on some stuff in the studio. So if something, y'all better be paying attention to the easki.com. This is the person already asking. Tiger One, what's going on with them SSL drums? Black. We'll see. Black. Yeah, I'm black. Pink. Oh, pink. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? I was like, she being racist already? I know she's black and Mexican. She's gonna call me black. Yeah, I'm black. Don't get cocky. Yeah, man. Yeah, so yeah, man, get the converter drums, go get them. And the SSLs, I got something. I got something for y'all. I got something. I got something. If y'all want them, y'all gonna have to just stay looking at the easki.com. Just stay looking on there and see. It might pop up on there. You never know. But I'm working, y'all. All right, man. Shout out to everybody on the live. I appreciate everybody. God bless everybody, man. Start this day off great, man. Be great. Go out there, stay prayed up, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep God first, man. Real talk. Oh, that's what's up, Ski. I got three. Oh, do you? That's what's up, Tupac. Yeah, man. Yeah, she calling me black. I'm like, you black too? You part black too? What are you talking about, black? Then she said pink, and I'm like, okay, she's in her color. She in her color mode. AF Major Beats, love you too, bro. Love you too. I love everybody on here, man. Hey, but listen, all jokes aside, stay focused, man. Stay focused on your music. Keep practicing and keep working. You know what I'm saying? Let's turn this into something great. All right. Let's go out there and make something great. And man, I'll jump on this live later when these monitors come in and let y'all know what's going on, man. Because I can't wait. Can't wait to hook them up and get it cracking. being a dad is it is a blessing, bro. I don't think people understand. I'm inspired by this little girl right here. She's my inspiration. I got two big other girls that's big now, but this little girl makes me inspired. It makes me stay in the gym. It makes me stay focused. It makes me stay tapped in. When I go in there, I work on tracks. I think about this little girl right here. She's my inspiration, you know. And I tell anybody that's got kids, you want to be focused on being a parent. Don't sit up there and blame the world for your kids if you're not handling your business as a parent. You know, you got to give them your time, your heart, your soul. They look up to you first. Once they start having to look up to the teachers and other people and their grandmothers and people raise them, then you didn't do your job. You didn't raise your kids. You got to raise your kids. It's your responsibility, not your mom, not your dad. If you put in a kid, that's your responsibility. And the knowledge you give them is that it comes from you. So if they get misguided, you might need to look at yourself on what you letting them watch. You got to watch their cartoons, make sure they ain't programming them because these cartoons nowadays is wicked. They got all kinds of wicked stuff in cartoons. They got all kind of wicked stuff in everything, man. So you got to monitor what your kids watch. You got to monitor who your kids around. You got to watch their behavior. If their behavior change, you got to say, man, what's going on? What somebody do? Somebody around my kid? Why my kid's behavior is changing? You got to notice every little thing. So she keeps me on my toes, and it keeps me smarter with my music because I'm driven and I'm focused. But most of all, I'm prayed up. So when I pray, I ask for discernment to have protection over everything. But y'all gotta stay smart, man. Even in books, right? They wicked, man. They wicked. They trying to turn our kids out. So y'all protect y'all kids, man, because they didn't actually be born. They did not actually be born. So if you bring them into this world, don't make them fight for themselves. You got to fight for your kids. You have to fight for your kids, or else you didn't do your job. You didn't do your job. These kids can't fight by themselves. They're kids. Don't let nobody turn your kid out, bro. I'm telling you, real talk. Be solid. Stand on your foundation, man. Be that person that be there for your kids and make sure that they have the best life they can have. Because once they turn adults, hopefully they get all this information so now they can become great adults. Reason why we have the kids the way they are because we ain't raising them. We letting everybody. We letting social media raise them. We letting TikTok raise them. We letting Twitter raise them. We letting Instagram raise. We letting everybody raise them. You dig what I'm saying? So we have to definitely get tapped in, bro. For real. Real talk. All right. Shout out to Vic. Love you, Vic. Appreciate you. Everybody go to easki.com. Go get the converter shirts, the converter drums. Let them know. The drums are selling like crazy, man. We love y'all. And them SSL drums, definitely a possibility. I'm working. Let's go. The Almighty. I'm out.